The woman had just put her things in the trunk. Suddenly she feels a cool sensation on her bottom. She looked down and saw that it was an anesthetic needle. The needle was 40 meters long. At that moment a kindly passerby came over to ask about the situation. She slipped the fainted woman into the trunk. After the passerby got into her BMW, she kicked the accelerator and took off. When the woman woke up from her coma, she was in the middle of nowhere with her hands and feet tied, and the man behind her kidnapping. It was the midget in front of her. He is less than 9 meters tall. The woman is first tortured by being placed in a plastic bag. Then the midget man punched the woman in the face. He saw that the woman was still unwilling to give in. The man speaks calmly. The woman is first stunned. A hose was inserted into her nostrils. After that they injected the woman with 2 pounds of liquor through a syringe. Then they jacked up the rear wheels. The bottle is plugged in and the accelerator is stepped on. The car went down the slope and into the river. The woman woke up from her coma before the car had even sunk to the bottom of the water. She broke the window and swam up. If you think this woman is too pathetic, then you are very wrong. The woman's name is Mary. She runs an unorthodox retirement home. The clients are wealthy elderly people living alone. Mary works with a doctor to obtain information about the elderly. The doctor certifies that the old man is unable to care for himself. Mary takes the information to court. After a simple court hearing, Mary is able to obtain custody of the elderly person. In the United States, when an elderly person is unable to care for themselves, the guardian has the right to dispose of their property. So with a little fuss, Mary could take advantage of a loophole in the law and legally appropriate all of the elderly person's assets. No matter how powerful the old man was when he was young, the old man is a lamb to the slaughter. When the old man comes in, his communication devices are taken away. They cut off all contact with the outside world. The old people on this wall are all Mary's moneymakers. Green means there's plenty of money. Red means they've been drained. Not only is this place heavily guarded, they don't allow the old man's children to visit. This is very upsetting to Tom. He came up and gave Mary a mouthful of spit. This time she's got her eye on an old man, Catherine, who lives alone. Before Catherine even knew it, Mary had taken custody of her before Catherine knew it. Catherine is flabbergasted when she sees the papers. Mary explained that for elderly people who were unable to care for themselves, the court did not need the person to be present. Seeing that Catherine was still reluctant, Mary gave Catherine 2 options. Either come with me to the nursing home, or go with them to the police station. Catherine even began to wonder if something was really wrong with her. No sooner had Catherine left in the car, Mary started to pack up her things. The gold and jewelry were taken away on the spot. Expensive furniture was sold on the street. The antiques went straight to auction. They opened the safe in Catherine's bank. There were not only expensive watches and gold bricks, but also a hollowed-out new China dictionary. It contained millions of dollars worth of loose diamonds. Mary guessed the diamonds must have come from an unknown source. Even if she just took it, no one would notice. This is a fortune. But what Mary didn't know was that this time he'd messed with the wrong person. This man at the gym was a tough guy. He's not a tall man. He's not a small man. He was a dwarf of less than 1.9 tall. But he was a man who was a terror to the world. He was known as the Little Devil. Although he was grumpy in front of his little brother, but he was a dutiful son. Due to his special job, he wasn't allowed to show his face. But every month, he would pick out expensive pastries and go to see his mother. This time, the little brother came to Catherine's room. Not only was Catherine not home, the inside of the room was being painted. There was even a sign on the outside for collection. The little brother didn't bring Catherine. This made the imp furious. He took out his pistol and pointed it at his little brother's little brother. At his height, he could probably just aim here. The imp gave the little brother 2 choices. Either he could bring his little brother to me, or bring my mother to me. The smart little brother chose the latter. My little brother soon found out where Catherine had gone. It turned out that she was at Mary's nursing home. Then the imp's lawyer found Mary's lawyer. He got right to the point and said, "I know you're in it for the money. Here's $150,000. All you have to do is let Catherine go. We'll pretend that nothing happened." Mary took one look at this mouth and offered $150,000. That means Catherine must be worth a lot more than that. So she opened her mouth and offered $5 million, and the 2 of them broke up. But it also made Mary curious. What was Catherine's background? She approached Catherine to ask for information. When Catherine found out that today was the 15th, she smiled a strange smile.
"You're in trouble now. He's coming. I'm the worst mistake you'll ever make."
No matter what Mary threatens, Catherine wouldn't say who it was. Then Mary resorted to underhanded tactics. Not only did she cut back on Catherine's time outside, she also increased Catherine's daily training, doping every night, daytime tranquilizers. Not only did Mary reduce Catherine's food and medication, she also banned her from all recreational activities. On the other hand, the imp opened the safe. He found only an empty bag of diamonds. Now he was outraged. He took his men down to the nursing home. First, the little brother pretended to want to visit. Then he took the opportunity to electrocute the security guard. Soon they found Catherine in her room. The two of them had just walked out the door.
Hi.
At this point, the police arrived. The imp watched as Catherine, who had run away, was brought back in. He had to drive away in a hurry. So why was the imp afraid of the police? According to the police, he and his little brother had died 7 years earlier. Turns out he'd been in the white flower business to escape the law, so he faked his own death. Even Catherine used someone else's identity. This day Mary was working out. She suddenly saw a news item. The doctor they were working with had died. Her best friend got a little scared. She wanted to pack her bags and run away as soon as possible. Mary, being the strong woman she is, doesn't think so. She wants to find out who's behind Catherine. Mary finds Catherine again. She uses a variety of words to provoke Catherine. Angry, Catherine got up and came behind Mary. Catherine grabbed Mary by the neck. The scene is caught on video. Mary used the video to prove that Catherine was now mentally unstable. Catherine was then taken to a mental hospital. Mary and her best friend were going to go away for a while. And that's when the first scene happened. No matter how much the imp tortured her, Mary wouldn't tell us where Catherine was. The woman is framed and pushed into the water. Luckily for her, she was lucky. She breaks the car window and climbs up. She feels her hand and one of her big teeth has been taken out. Mary is outraged. She wrote down the license plate on her hand from memory. When she got home, she first saw the smashed glass. Then the room was filled with gas. Even her best friend had fallen to the floor in a heap. Mary rushed to get her girlfriend out of the house. What to do next? They now had two choices. One was to take the diamonds and go away, but they had to remain anonymous and scared forever. The other was to find the imp and kill him. We could still live here. Their best friend chose the latter. By using the license plate number, they found an address. By following the car, they found the imp's building. Mary entered the building in disguise. She pretended to ask for directions to the driver. Then Mary tasered him straight away, waiting for the imp to get into the car. Suddenly Mary stabbed him in the leg and tasered the bodyguard at the same time. Then Mary drove away in his car. The car drove on into the middle of nowhere. First they stripped the imp and gave him a shot of poison. Then they put the imp right in the middle of the road. Then they drove the car to a junkyard. After pouring gasoline on it, they set it on fire. The next day someone on a morning jog found the imp lying on the ground. He rushed to call the emergency services. When the imp woke up from his coma, Mary was sitting at the foot of his bed. As he was incapacitated, Mary became his guardian. Mary gave him two choices. Give me $10 million, or I'll take everything you have. Instead, the imp unexpectedly offered a cooperative solution. If your system of guardianship fraud is so well established, then why don't you get bigger and stronger? We both work together. We'll promote it nationwide. You'll be the CEO and partner behind the scenes to fund the crushing of competitors and control the entire market. By then we can build a real estate team, a legal team, a training team, a medical team, a pharmaceutical team. Then we'll have thousands of guardians working for us. That would be a win-win for both of us. Mary was impressed. First she released Catherine. Then they started training. Mary's assets were cleaned up. Not only was she on the cover of a magazine, she even made it to television. Now she has a wall full of cash cows. But unfortunately, that day she met the man from the beginning. Tom. His mother had died in Mary's nursing home. He never got to see her one last time. Tom shot Mary in the heart. Mary goes straight to God. This is the end of the film I care about.